digest. From lane to the new shining ground, echo chants where the legends are found. Heroes carved in the heart of time, we march on through grit and grime. Oh Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Raise the banner, let it fly. Through the rain, through the fire, this is my club, my only desire. Oh Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Raise the banner, let it fly. Through the rain, through the fire, this is my club, my only desire. Echoes of King and Greaves in the air. Every goal, the sound declares. Heartbeats pound like a drummer's song, marching forward, fierce and strong. We're the ones who rise in the clash. Numbers running in a white shirt dash. History burns in the roaring crowd. Every game we scream it loud. I'm Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Raise the banner, let it fly. Through the rain, through the fire, this is my club, my only desire.
Well, congratulations, Tottenham Hotspur. You have done it again. 1-0 up at home against Crystal Palace side that haven't won away for a little while. What was it? Oh, yeah, just give up now. And we gift wrap them 3 goals, 3 at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, the £1 billion fortress, pride of North London. Well done. Well done. Bravo. Generally, bravo. You know what? That's actually very good. I should have put that in there. You know what the worst part is? I actually believe when Solanke put that ball in, we were going to win. How wrong was I? 15 minutes, that's how long the hope lasted. 15 minutes before Van de Ven decides to channel his inner Sunday League player and get himself sent off with a red card. 10 men from there, pure Tottenham. 5 straight defeats. 5. The worst run since 1979. Well before even rain was around in the world. He wasn't even thought of back then when Tottenham lost 5 games in a row. And you know what happened in 75? We didn't get relegated. We got relegated 2 years later. But don't worry, Igor Tudor says, relegation? What relegation? This is not real pressure. When is the real pressure then, Igor? When we're actually playing it Millwall away next season? So sit down, buckle in, because we're going through everything. Welcome to THFC Till I Die, the home of Tottenham past, present, and the exciting future on the Chirpy the mascot we must all get around. Joining us tonight, of course, we've got the best panel in the business, a bit like the Beatles back in the day. You've got me as a bit of George Harrison, the quiet Beatle. You got Igor next to me, a bit like Paul McCartney.
I'm Ringo,
the man
mate.
we thought. Oh, you're Ringo. Okay,
Yes.
then. Right. You're like playing the drums. We've got John Lennon there down the bottom, just thinking what song he's going to write next. And Billy is Paul McCartney, the man that never dies.
Still alive, I'll take that.
He's the only Beatle I think still alive. Him and sorry I called you a dead Beatle, Rain. Please don't hate me for that. Though I did, there wasn't there a film out years ago. Some fella, the Beatles never existed. He went back in time, and he became famous for playing the Beatles songs. And I think it was
yesterday.
Who was the fella that played John Lennon? Was it McGregor? Ewan McGregor, was it? Anyway, he was a spitting image of him. I nearly spat my Coke out when I thought of him. Fuck me, that's John Lennon. But anyway, we're not here to talk about the Beatles, though. They were probably the greatest band the world has ever seen. Here to talk about this team called Tottenham, who might play away to Wrexham next season. That'd be a good one. Joining us, of course, is Billy from Change for Tottenham. Billy, how are you tonight, sir?
Well, I'm glad to be talking to you guys, to be honest, because it feels like we've got a lot to get through. But
Yeah.
Yesterday might have been the lowest moment of my Spurs supporting life, to be honest. Might have been the very lowest moment I've experienced. So I'm glad to have someone to talk about it with, but it just feels terminal at this point, mate. It feels like, it feels like there's only one way this is going. And, I feel like I was there yesterday and it felt like as soon as that wasn't even the goal, it was as soon as the red card came out, it just felt like we accepted our fate. And I just worry that's where it's going to be all season now.
I do. And also joining me, of course, is my two co-hosts who need no introductions the world over. One is a man that used to own a football club, and the other one is a man who wished he owned a football club. Tequila, how are you, bud? The inner Simon Jordan of this channel. How are you, bud?
Okay, I'm showing my support for Igor in my picture. I'm glad to have him as our manager. I think he'll do the job. Very motivational guy, looks like. I'd listen to him, wouldn't you?
If he was our manager, again, I'd take Mickey Mouse as our manager at the moment. And Rain, of course, who does go to most of the Tottenham games. Only Saturday games, isn't it, bud, you go to a season?
Usually, I only go to I only go to weekend games because I have family commitments during the week. I couldn't make yesterday because I wasn't even in the same country. So
you were trying to get Mikey Moore to come back down again, weren't you?
So, yeah, something like that.
How did you talk with Mikey Moore?
And I didn't even get to watch it. I watched it this morning back on playback. Yeah. So I watched it having known the key points and the score, obviously, which actually paints a very different picture to watching the game. It's very, very strange. And obviously, as Billy knows, I was living a bit vicariously through various WhatsApp groups as to what was going on, which were going absolutely mental. But just for clarity, I was around in 1975, unfortunately. So, but yeah, going back to your intro,
Yeah. Look, I am. This is not a Tottenham channel anymore. This is a support group for Tottenham fans. So I think we should all come in and just introduce ourselves. My name's Dermot, and I've got a problem. I support Tottenham. Billy, look, we'll start with you first, bud. We've got a super chat here from Jerome. So big up to Super. Do you want to read this out for us, Tequila? Super chat, bud. Thanks a lot, Jerome. Absolute star.
Good evening, gents. Good to see there is still a smile on your face. Just about. Billy, I really hope the fans will wake up and finally protest with change for Tottenham.
Are you hoping that, Billy? Are you hoping now fans will now start to wake up and follow you?
I hope so, mate. I think this is, what has happened in front of our eyes is our club is dying a death in front of our eyes. And it's because of the ineptitude of these owners and who they've put in charge. I think, we'll look back on that January transfer window as being one of the most fatal blows that the club has ever received. We've yet to win a Premier League game since it, and every decision that they seem to make backfires. We seem to be the only club in Premier League history without a new manager bounce. I can remember. It looks like Igor Tudor will go. If it's not now, it'll be, I imagine, after we get hit by Liverpool. I'm sure we'll go then, and then that'll be 3 managers in a season. And much scarier than all of that is we're really, really staring relegation in the face now. I thought, Tottenham are 7-4 if you're a betting man to go down, which is unheard of in my lifetime, indeed. West Ham are 6-4. It looks. And I kind of felt it last night. It looks terminal. I keep saying that word terminal, but that's what it feels like at the moment. We're going to have to change manager, I'm sure, and that's maybe the only way that we'll get out of this at the moment. But I think last night proved the manager that they hired is completely clueless, and the club is, what the fans are experiencing at the moment is like, nothing I've ever experienced. I've never seen sort of it get this bad, and it was unthinkable that it could ever get this bad at Tottenham. Last season, obviously we finished 17th, but we were 13 points above relegation at this point in the season, I think. And we ended 18 points in the relegation. So even though we were close to them in terms of position, we were never close in terms of points. And now to be 1 point above the relegation zone, to be the worst form of the team, it's unforgivable. So we have to there's no, you can't sit on the fence anymore. I'm afraid if you were sitting on the fence previously, you have to be against these owners now because they're killing our football club. There's no more room for let's see if anything change. Let's see what happens. It's gone far beyond that now. We have to get together as a fan base to get these owners out, and change for Tottenham. We'll keep going with that, and I hope more and more fans join us. But I honestly don't believe in my heart anyone will be sitting on the fence anymore because of what is happening right now is unforgivable on every single level.
Yeah, it is. Tequila, Rain, I let you guys ask Billy a question. Tequila, do you want to go first, bud? You got anything for Billy you want to ask him?
I'm curious from Billy. A lot of us have been calling for, it used to be Levy Enoch out for many, many years, as I'm sure you know. So why do you feel this is the tipping point? Because you've just said there can't be anyone, but I bet you there still is. Why do you feel this is the tipping point?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're right. I mean, my tipping point was many years. My tipping point was Artis Poch. Personally, some people that Martin Yole was their tipping point. I think everyone is different, but I just think surely surely the threat of Tottenham being relegated and genuinely being quite likely to be relegated the way it we're going is how can you possibly think that these are the people that can be in charge of our football club with what we're seeing? I just don't see how there's any road left for them anymore. And I know that people will say, well, what if they get rid of Vinay and Langer, who will almost certainly go? I just don't see any road ahead for them now where these guys are going to save us, because I would hope that surely right now, how bad everything is, and that January transfer window revealed what these owners are. For me, I would always say, beyond the season, there's 25 years of evidence now. There's a quarter of a century of evidence. But I just imagine that surely Tottenham being this close to relegation is surely the breaking point for everyone else, I would hope.
And one more follow-up question as well.
Yeah.
Without naming names, because we don't need to, there's been a lot of people getting on the relegation bandwagon that they think that this will not force the owners to sell. I don't think anyone actually believes that. But this will galvanize Enoch because they're going to be losing their, the value of the club. That it's going to galvanize them into finally having a proper plan, a proper footballing plan. So like going back to the absolute basics. Do you feel that relegation would achieve that? Or is it just like, no matter what, we cannot afford to get relegated, even if it might, and that is a key word, might have this forcing Enoch to finally caring about football more than anything else, because they'll be forced into it because their asset is going to lose so much value?
I mean, possibly, but I get the impression they will stick around longer if we get relegated, just because, if you have a house that's worth 3 billion now and then suddenly the year after it devalues to 1 billion, you're going to try everything you can to get it back to 3 billion again. So I think they'll keep them longer. I think you're right. But I do not think these guys have a clue what they're doing in terms of football, and I think I would actually worry that if that is their plan next season, I don't think they have any clue how to get out of the Championship. And it's a really difficult league to get out of in the first place. There's going to be so much work to do in terms of player upheaval and player trading and getting rid of players and keeping players on contracts and doing all that jazz. I just don't think they have an absolute clue how to navigate that. So I think you are right, though. I personally, I've seen some people say that if Tottenham go down, at least Enoch will sell, but I actually think it will end up keeping them here longer.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Big up to you, Billy. Billy, sorry, Ray, I'm calling you Billy there. So do you want to ask Billy if you got a question or one or two questions?
Hi, up, Bill. I was reading the release, the letter. I don't know if Dermot's going to go through it, so I won't. I
was going to read it later, but you can go through it if you want, bud. If you want.
Oh no, I just wanted to ask. It's always been change for Tottenham, right? And I've obviously joined in the protests, and when interviewed, I was quite clear that for me it was about the most important thing was changing the approach to the transfer market and the way that we interact with the transfer market. This youth-centric model, which I thought was, all about value and not about quality, and the way that we get players in late and all this kind of stuff. And obviously, there's been some people who came and joined us for the West Ham protest who came originally from Enoch Out, which was just that's what it was. It wasn't. It was unequivocal. So I guess Billy is it now? Change for Tottenham dash Enoch Out.
Yeah, it is. It's changed for Tottenham dash Enoch Out. I think, I don't think there's anywhere left to turn for these owners anymore. I think, this season has been such an unequivocal disaster. The January transfer window was an opportunity for them to show that they've changed. And I always go back to that phrase, when someone shows you who they are, believe them. And I think they've already showed us who they are. This Enoch 2.0, which I never really had any faith in the first place, but now that's completely evaporated. And it is now Enoch Out or nothing. So, yeah, without a doubt. And just because I think there's absolutely no chance, I don't think these guys can turn us around. So, yeah, it is Enoch Out or nothing.
Okay. Oh, you go, Dermot. I know that you've got quite a few things you want to cover.
Do you know what? I think that's a very good point you make. About Enoch Out and the approach for change for Tottenham now. Do you have to change tack, Billy, to get fans? Because me and Tequila have discussed on here, especially about the Man City thing, and many fans, even if it was a Man City, many fans don't turn up to protest. It's always the same number. And I feel sorry for you guys because you put a lot of work into it. You put a lot of hard work into doing these protests. We know Rain turns up to them as well. We know, bless him, he was one of the few that walked out the 75th minute. I'm continuing to do it on my watch-alongs, which is causing a bit of comic value, especially yesterday when I walked off. I walked off to do the dinner. I came back 30 seconds later. I had to walk off again. But
it was like 12 seconds, Dermot. You're like that Simpsons episode, with the old man when he walks in a circle, grabs his hat, and then walks out again. That was Dermot.
He was counting. Yesterday, he was actually timing me. I could hear him in my ear going, that's 10 seconds gone. No, 12 is back. But do we have to do more on the online community if we can get to the protests? Like me walking off for 12 or 15 seconds as a protest, do we all have to do our bit to help you guys? Because if the fans at the stadium are not helping you, then surely we're going to have to help you on the online community.
Yeah, I think. Well, again, I never like to preach to fans. That's not something that
I wasn't trying to say that.
Sorry. Yeah, I know you weren't. But just a little thing like that can go a really, really long way. So we know we have a lot of support online, and what our long-term goal is to generate that support into people inside the stadium or people at protests. But we are looking at new ways to utilize that online fan base that we have. One of the things which we've been spoken about a lot and people have asked us to do, which we're finding in the works of doing, is targeting sponsors online. We really think it's time now to send a message to the owners that the fan base are really disappointed and they're going to try and utilize that sort of anger that they have in targeted ways, which will hopefully make them sit up and make a difference. I was reading today, someone said, and I think this says a lot about our owners, that apparently the fans in the Tunnel Club are voicing their frustration, which is making the owners sit up and take notice, which I think shows a lot about the way that they think. That match-going fans are probably less important to them than those people that are sat in the Tunnel Club that can afford it. So I think we have a lot to battle against. But next week, we're going to be launching a campaign against sponsors as well. So there's always things that people on, we are trying to utilize this online fan base more, but even if it's just a walk on like that, I think every single person that we have making a stand against their club is really, really important. And that's the things that we'll be grateful for, because I think it's got to a point now with Tottenham where these owners are killing the football club in front of our very eyes. And do you want to be on the right side of history when it all goes down? Because the more that we just sit, we can't be passive anymore as a fan base. I really, truly believe that. These guys have been allowed to get away with murder in terms of murdering our football club. If it was another fan base in Italy or Turkey, for example, Lord knows what would be happening inside that stadium. So I think, it's not enough anymore just to sit by and watch it happen. We have to try and utilize each other. We have to try and support each other. And we have to try and get rid of these owners because they are killing our football club.
So there was a cue there, Dermot, for you to bring up your photo of the new Tottenham Stadium.
Right. Thank you.
Because that is absolutely what would be happening in Turkey or Italy round about now. And Billy, I think you're absolutely right. I think last year with the protests, I'm very clear in my mind that the biggest impact, yes, we had lots of impact with the stuff that we did outside, but I think the biggest impact was the Kulusevski song and the sit-in. I thought the sit-in was fantastic because it garnered, it wasn't huge amounts of people, but it got a huge amount of interest. And the last thing, I was saying this on the two marks earlier, I was with Cookie and Sheriff. The thing that you really need, everybody talks about hitting these people in the pocket, but powerful people got so much bloody money that it has very little, actually has very little impact on them. What they really don't want to be is embarrassed.
Yeah.
And what you're talking about with the Tunnel Club is them feeling embarrassed.
Yeah.
And that's really, I think, what we've got to aim for. We've got to aim for making them embarrassed. Songs, I love that sit-in. Yes, we have to do things outside. And it has to be organised. Sorry, Dermot. Did you have? I've got another question. If you
can I just go on the sit-in for 1 second?
Yeah.
We're definitely going to organise a sit-in for Nottingham Forest for two reasons. One, we're balancing a really fine tightrope right now, where as fans we have to get behind the team more than ever. We are needed as a fan base more than ever before.
Yeah.
And two, we also we have to hold the owners to account, which is a really difficult tightrope to balance because if you're protesting before the game, if the anger is hostile and the anger, the fact of the matter is these players need the supporters now more than they've ever needed them in the history of Tottenham Hotspur to keep them alive. So that's why we're going to try and favour for the Nottingham Forest game a sit-in. So it's after the game. We can get behind the team. We can try and drag them to survival. And then we can sit in. We can hopefully get even if it's, as you said before, Rain, it doesn't have to be loads of people. It just has to be concentrated inside the stadium, send a message. It's an absolutely massive game, that Nottingham Forest game. And, I think fans have a responsibility now, match-going fans, to really try and drag the team over the line. I've seen a lot of Everton fans that are talking about what they did when, a couple of seasons ago when they were in there.
Yeah.
They turned up at the training ground to spur on the team. They turned up in the streets. And I'm confident that Tottenham fans will do that as well. But at the same time, we can't let these owners get away with this either. So that's why we're going to definitely do a sit-in for Nottingham Forest.
Yeah, if you want to do your question, right, that's fine. And then I've got a couple of super chats and a couple of questions because I know Billy's tight for time. So I just want to get these done. So you go ahead, bud, and then we'll do the super chats and that. Go on.
Oh, it's slipped my mind. It slipped my mind. I'm very sorry.
That's okay. Right, Tequila, do you want to read out these super chats first, bud? So go on, you do that.
Which one did it, Demo?
That one there from Alben 503. Thank you for the super chat, by the way, bud.
They sat and watched Frank's poor managing and lifeless personality enfeebling the team for so long.
Yeah.
1 sec. I've got a problem here. Sorry, give it a second.
And this is the reason we're getting. And this is the reason we're getting relegated.
The reason why we're going to get relegated.
Alban, I'll be brutally honest. I just don't agree with you. I think it's quite clear. It's quite clear to me that it was never a Frank problem. Yes, we needed change. We needed to change something to try and get us points. But the problem is that these owners. I'm very much in Billy's camp. The problem is that these owners have mismanaged our club from player recruitment, from the scouting team, to actually just hiring the right managers. Yeah, again and again and again. So we can blame the coaches, but do you know what? The coaches are the ones who are brought in, and then they're the ones who are sacked, and then new ones are brought in, and they're sacked. And and the thing that's consistent and continuous are the people who are hiring them.
Yeah. I mean, Billy, to this, Ray makes a very good point. It is the owners that we need to start blaming because they're the ones hiring and firing. Yeah. I read somewhere on X today that within the club, they're locking Vinay out of meetings and they're locking them out of doing what they're doing. I don't know. It could be a rumor. We don't know how true it is. But to get rid of Lang and Vinay, do they have to start doing it? Be a bit more ruthless within the boardroom?
I think so. I mean, if it was up to me, those two would be gone immediately. I think Lang, after the January transfer window, even though he wasn't the sole director of football at the beginning of it, he was supposed to be the youth one. I mean, Vinay is just overseeing an absolute catastrophe, so I think they both need to be removed immediately if it's up to me. But yeah, we have to be ruthless. I mean, let's paint a world where Enoch is still here next season, and hopefully that will not exist. But there is no way that Vinay and Langer could survive this season. It's just been an absolute catastrophic error. And when the big calls that they've made, so the big calls that Vinay has made this season, his hired Paratici, which obviously was a massive failure because he left a couple of months later.
Yeah.
They stuck with Frank, which, you know, you can argue for or against, did not work. And then they've hired Tudor, who looks like is getting even worse somehow. So on every single big decision that Vinay has made has had a negative effect. So you just can't
A whole lot needs to go. And for me, Vinay made his own bed by making the decision to ignore Paratici. And that's the bit that pisses me off. Paratici told the board back in October what was happening. Players turning up late. No, there's nothing like any sort of ground rules being put in place. And they didn't listen to him. And this is where we've ended up. Big up to Wayne Bonner, who's gifted a membership, and it's gone to Simon 0072. Wow, big up Simon, yeah. Sort of too short of the big time. Well done to you, sir. And he also puts in the super chat as well.
What's the hell's Tunnel Club? What does he mean by that?
What the hell? Yeah, can you explain what the Tunnel Club is? I know you two go to games, so maybe you two can.
There goes the
answer
Tunnel
this one
Club.
together.
I wish I did. I wish I did. Have you ever been there, Rain? You ever been there? Anyone else?
I'm nowhere. I do know people who have, yeah, absolutely, but I've never. I would be so out of place, mate.
It's essentially the highest level of premium, and you sit literally in the tunnel where the players come out. I think it's around £100,000 a year for a season ticket. About you're looking at 5 figures just for a single game. It's like the elite level of premium. You literally sit in the tunnel where the players come out. There's a restaurant there. It's an obscene level of money to go there, but they do have quite a lot of people that do it. So yeah, I mean,
so Wayne, as the players walk down the tunnel is actually two-way mirrors.
Yeah.
So there are people who are like looking in at the players as they're lining up to come out onto the and yeah, you pay. I would be so out of place. I'm so common.
I don't think you would be, Rain. I think you would fit in there quite well.
Prawn sandwich in your hand. Yeah, prawn sandwich.
Yeah, I could see you and Tequila sitting in there having your prawn sandwiches, like me and Billy the Pool Mucks being out in the stands and celebrating.
you and me are going to really fall out, mate. You realise that?
If we stay up, we'll all go to the Tunnel Club to celebrate. If we stay up this year.
Yeah, Tequila would get us in, won't you, Tequila? You're sitting there with your slime with your mate. I'll pour a favour from Jordan. He'll get us in. Don't worry, mate.
So another question, Billy. Another question. So obviously we want to do Forest. I don't think any of us are really expecting this to have an impact on this season. Although if it did, that'd be brilliant. Are you after the West Ham and the Man City? Are you wary of trying to do too much all at the same time?
I think so, but at the same time, I think we've just got to roll with the punches sometimes and just try and do as much as we can. We can't. Yeah. The other option is staying silent, and I think we've got to allow the people that want to do it an opportunity to stand up for themselves. And it would be the easy option would be to say, right, well, we'll give up for the rest of the season, see what happens in summer, and go again. But the easy option is not always the best option. So it would be easy to do that. And, I think it's really difficult balance. We're going to try and make sure we get that right between supporting the team and not the regime, particularly in a relegation battle. But I think we have to come together as a fan base now and give these owners a clear message that they can't continue at Tottenham.
The last thing I'm going to say is thank you very much for all you do, Billy, and the rest of the crew, because without fan groups like yours, without fan channels like this, and the various other YouTube channels, we're not a community. We're not, which means that we're not a fan. We're not a football club. So thank you very much, mate.
No, thank you. And I'd love to come back on, guys, before the Forest game so we can go through the plans properly.
Yeah, definitely get you on, Billy. And look, for me, thank you so much because we do appreciate all you do. Look, as fans, I can't get to every home game. I would love to. I know me and Tequila can't. And I know, Rain, you go to the games where you can do, bud. But I get to one. I'm going over to the Leeds game, and I'm definitely going over for the Everton game at the end of the season. I don't know if that would be a good thing or not, Billy, but this what might happen. Tequila's giving me matches, apparently. So if we get relegated, this is what's happening.
Well, that Everton game could either be the biggest protest in history or the biggest party in history, one of the two. So we'll see.
I'm hoping it's the biggest party in history. I get to see you, Rain, as well. You and me get to have a pint, bud. You'll probably be there last game of the season. But no, thank you for everything you do, bud. And
I've always said it's not
you
about
need
us,
breaking.
it's about, everyone coming
Anything you
together.
need breaking, give it to me, and I will get it out straight away. We'll do all we can to support you. Tequila, do you want to say anything to Billy before he pops off for change for Tottenham?
No, I'm just happy. I mean, it took a while because obviously there's been protests for a long time with not many people showing up. So it's finally good to see people galvanizing together and it becoming organized. So I would say it's long overdue, but it doesn't matter in the end. At least you guys are there doing what you do, and we're all really supporters of it. I think me and Dermo wish that we could turn up as well, but
yeah,
you guys do a lot for us on the one team. You do a lot, and
well, we do. Even my 15-second, 75-minute walkout. Every little helps, I suppose.
And I'll see you guys in the Tunnel Club at Everton.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Let us in. Let us in, Billy. We'll be there. See you later, Billy. And that's Billy from Change for Tottenham. What a great guy, isn't he? What an absolute great guy. Look, guys, just very quickly, we've got a few starred chats to get through. Just thank to everyone for the super chats and the membership gifting you're giving. Brilliant. Over nearly 1,000 watching tonight. Really has been great numbers. So thank you so much for what you're doing. Look, got here from True Blue Hindu. I love that name. Morning, Derm. Right at this moment, it's not about the owners. It's about the dressing room. It's about how it turns it around. Our players are completely devoid of confidence and joy. Guys, do you want to take? Can you get the first bit? I'll give you the second bit.
But that's an interesting one to reply to there, because that's literally one of the few fans, and I'm not really calling you out, but at the start of the show, Billy was saying about how surely now everyone's got to be putting up the owners, and that's the reply right there. Who's not blaming the owners? It's interesting. So I did say there's still some who still don't see the owners as the issue, and that's not me sticking you out. That was a point I made right at the start of the show to Billy. So it's still not everybody. There are still some who don't blame the owners, obviously. Hello?
I can't hear Dermot. Dermot's muted himself.
Sorry. Isn't Tequila right though? It's about.
I'm not calling him out. It's just an example of something I said right at the start of the show. That's all.
The point I'm making that everyone should be taking the blame for this, Rain, shouldn't they? Owners, players, trainers, medical department. Everyone has to take responsibility, don't they?
No.
Yeah.
No.
There we go.
I don't agree. And I think you're missing the point. So earlier, Dermot came up with a great analogy. Yeah, about the players. Which is, loads of players are being put into different positions. You've got a right back or a midfielder being put a left back, or a guy who's played central midfield for 15 years being put a right wing and told to be attacking. You've got Porro being told to now be a centre back, and Dermot said, I've worked in construction all my life, and you couldn't get me to go and be a brickie, and because it's a skill, it's a set. And I was in chat and I was desperate. The problem that the players have got is that the squad, and this isn't their fault, the squad is so badly constructed that that coaches are having to ask them to play in positions that they're not comfortable playing. Everybody thinks they're footballers, therefore they should be able to play in any position that they... Well, yes, they can, but they're going to be a lot less effective. Yeah? Porro is, yes, less effective as a centre-back than he is as a right wing-back. Debate how good he is as a right wing-back all you like. But that's, we can take that as a statement of fact. Conor Gallagher has played central midfield for Chelsea, Atletico Madrid, for England, and we're now playing him as a right winger, not even a right midfielder, a right winger, right? Why is that happening? It's because they haven't constructed the squad properly. We've got no left wingers. We're playing a 19-year-old Brazilian who looks okay, but he's going to make mistakes. Cue the yellow card yesterday at left back. This is not the player's fault. And Romero, like him or loathe him, after the January transfer window, came out and was very, very clear in a social media post, which lots of people didn't like. But it's clear the players also understand that they're not being given the support from the ownership, which comes down through Vinay and into Lang, to give this team what they need to be effective on the football pitch. So we can talk about the players, but if you don't have a brickie on site and you ask the plasterer has to go and lay some rows. Do you know what? You can't blame the plasterer if the wall falls down.
Do you know what? I knew my building analogy would actually gain traction. It actually has. Tequila, look, I think Rain was agreeing with you. Like, it is the owners. But what do you want to see from the owners now, Tequila? They're here. They will only go once they find somebody to pay up $3 billion, and if somebody does, they're a bit of a mug. But it will. I don't think it will go for $3 billion. I think it'll probably go for 2.5 or $2 billion. What do you want to see the owners from now? What's the one thing you want to see them do, Tequila?
What I want from owners in general is transparency, which I don't think we get, which is hard to find because most billionaires are not exactly going to be that honest, just saying the truth. So transparency would be good. A plan would be good. If not their plan, then a proper delegation of duties, so that in fact, you want owners to be silent. I don't actually want to hear about them really at all. I want them to just put the money in and delegate to those who know how to run a football club, because obviously their delegation abilities are probably as good as Levy's were. Not very good. And I think Levy struggled with delegation as well. And I think these owners have proven to me that they're not particularly good with it. It's probably a hard skill to have, but there's other clubs we can all name them in our heads who delegate very well, who owners are not, who are the owners you barely ever hear of, and who, from top to bottom, run a football club as a football club.
You saying that, you remember United back in the day, it was Alex Ferguson and Martin Edwards. They ran Manchester United. That was it.
And it was David Dean and Wenger for us.
Yeah.
I know we don't, but example of the people who got it right. So they themselves do not have the football knowledge, just like Levy didn't. So at some point they need to hire somebody who will. And that is a skill set, but I don't know. I don't believe they probably got this skill set.
I agree, bud. I'm big up to True Blue Hendo. I love the name though. Morning to you, bud. I hope you have a great day. And look, great chat. Great. You made a good talking point as well with your comment coming in. So big up to you. You're a big support of the channel, and we all appreciate you. Big up to Niall O'Connor. Big up to you, Niall. I hope you're doing well. That does remind me very quickly, I'm going to have to plug our sponsor, O'Connor Designs. So we will do that in a minute. But it's this question for the panel. Let's say we get relegated. Hope not. Does FFP, this is a very good question actually, does FFP stop us from buying players regardless of money, etc.? If we break rules and get promoted, what consequences would we suffer in the Premier League? Now, am I right, Tequila or Rain, that we would get, was it Leicester? Didn't they do something and they got points deduction when they came back into the Premier League a couple of seasons ago? I can't remember what it was, but would we get done in the Championship or the Premier League? Who wants to take the first part? Who wants to take the second part?
I'm not 100% sure, but I think in the Championship you're only allowed to make a loss of 15 million.
Over 3 years.
It's over 3 years, so
Yeah.
it's going to be a big problem with the wages our players are on, isn't it?
Look, we are in debt, aren't we? 900 million worth of debt, and it probably is a manageable debt. But if we did get relegated, how does FFP? Because at the moment, can we spend up to 400 million on FFP? Still, or is that slightly lowered now?
So there's two different things, right? There's two different things. There's FFP, which is all about transfer money, effectively.
Yeah.
And then there's profit and sustainability, which is all about making losses. And in the Championship, the only thing that they have is profit and sustainability. They don't have FFP. So if I was to do my exam question, and I still take exams, bonkers. If I was to answer this as an exam question, then I would see this as the trick question that it is. And no, FFP doesn't stop us from buying players because we're no longer sort of confined by it. However, we are confined by profit and sustainability, which is the 15 million over 3 years. My understanding, and we would be in big trouble because unless we do have this 50% cut in wages written into people's contracts, then our expenses wouldn't go down, but our revenue absolutely would drop like a stone.
Oh, I got you. Yeah.
So we would, and we already make a loss.
Yeah.
So we would be in big trouble. However, my understanding is that in the first year, Premier League clubs are asked to prove that they're going to meet those rules, rather than you fall down and in your first year you have to basically destroy the club to meet them. So basically you've got a year to work it out.
Yeah.
And if you really wanted, you could just gamble everything on green.
So
That's
why
red or black.
grace, then.
That's why I said,
Yes.
Dermo. That's why I said, Dermo. We need to get back in the first year, otherwise.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, you're right. You did say that. True Blood comes back and he says, "You misunderstood me. I want these knobs gone as much as anyone, but if they go tomorrow, that won't fix our last 9 games." Is my point.
Yeah, fair enough. It wouldn't.
Yeah, and I've responded to. I totally actually. I think we did misunderstand the take, and I absolutely understand that point. However, the problem is too blue hendo. The problem is that there's never a good time. It's like I remember being asked by some of my relatives. You know, I'm one of the older cousins. You know, I don't quite feel ready to have my first child yet. And I was like, you're never ready. You just have to get on with it. You just have to do it and get on with it. You never know. Nobody ever really knows they're ready. Maybe some people do, but you never. And it's the same with so many things. Sometimes you just need to get it started, and it's never the right time. So the right time is now, and the time to get on the owner's backs. Yes, this is not the perfect time, but you know what? It's now. Now is the time that we need to do it.
Yeah, I mean, guys here, big up to Rickavillia TV. Do get over to that channel. Do some great work as well. And I know the 2 Marks were in earlier. Big up to your Mark, and do get over there as well. Still waiting for an invite. Just hint 2 Marks. Just a hint. But Ricky said, he makes a good point here, Tequila, to your point. Fergie rang United. Edward did what he said. Dodgy Dan ran goons. Gave Arsenal all the help he needed with the refs and FA. Remember Lasagna Gate? We can never forget that. Dean smiling on camera as they said we had to play. I mean, Tequila, if you do look at Manchester United, right, as an example, and sort of the mess they're in now with the owners, they could still go out and buy £250 million worth of players. And they still back every manager that comes, even though the owners are absolutely dreadful. They want the managers out. I get that. But do you feel that at least the Glazers back their managers and Enoch just never back anyone?
They compete. What United do? They compete, especially when it comes to wages. They give their they spend a lot of money in transfer funds, but unlike us, which the transfer spend really isn't that bad. It's about 140 million a year on average. It's the wages that have always let us down. But to add to your point about David Dean and Edwards, Vinay is meant to be that. He's meant to be the CEO who's meant to be coordinating with the manager. Vinay. We have that. That's what we have. They had David Dean. They had Martin Edwards, right? We have Vinay. Fill you with confidence, anyone? Really?
It's just when you said we have Vinay, the look at me and Rain's face was...
Well,
if you said we had Samantha Fox or Linda Lasardi, I think we might be a bit more excited. But no.
we have Vinay, who's given us Thomas Frank, even if we don't know for sure that was his decision. But he obviously persevered with him, and then he's hot-shotted Tudor, which looks like an absolute disaster. Now, apparently he was overridden to get rid of Frank, so he didn't even want to get rid of Frank if the rumours are true, and it was the owners who had to step in. So he wasn't even willing to get rid of Frank. Maybe the reason he didn't want to get rid of Frank because he knew that Tudor was going to be the backup, and it's like, well, he's no good either. But so I have no faith in Vinay, to be honest with you, and this is what I mean. Like, if the owners really want to impress me, they need to reset the slate. Because I don't think Vinay is the answer. Somebody said the other day that he deserves a bit longer. He deserves another season. I don't know. I don't know if he does. Is it too harsh to judge him after 9 months?
Who,
10
Vinay?
months? Yeah.
He's
Does he
shit.
need
He needs to
longer?
get out of the football club. He's had plenty of time. He's made cock up after cock. Yeah, I've sort of sent Wayne and Carl down a different route. Sorry guys. Big up to you, Tommy, as well. Great to see you in. Haven't seen you in before. Please like and subscribe, bud. Plenty more content. And yeah, great to see you in. Thank you. He said, sorry, Carl, but my verdict's in. Spurs are down. Big up to you guys. And big up to you, Ricky Villa. I will take you up on that. I just want to bring this up from the governor.
Can I go in on Ricky Villa? Ricky Villa's comment.
Oh, ask
Am I
him.
allowed?
Don't ask me. Ask him.
Right. So I'm not 100% sure what the point is. If the point is that Ferguson and Wenger sort of manage their relationship with Dean and Edwards, or that they were telling them what to do, I think you're missing the point of modern football, mate. And because Wenger and Ferguson in this day and age would have been sporting directors. That's what they did. They managed, they were classic old football managers who managed the transfers. Fergie was all over the transfers, managed the players, and then got coaches in to manage the training ground. And yes, then they did match day, which is obviously the most visible thing, but everything else behind doors is now that they used to do is now done by directors of football. And the problem that we've got, and I'm not saying that I agree with this, by the way, I'm just saying this is the way it is, right? I'm not saying that I like it. I'm just dealing with the world as it is, as it's there. So our director of football is at the moment is Johan Lang, and I can tell you categorically, he is no Wenger and he is no Fergie.
He's Mr. Blobby.
He's not even Allardyce.
Yeah, he is. Brian Clough, was he another one of those managers you could put in that bracket? Yeah. Brian Clough. I was just thinking Brian Clough would have been the same, actually.
Yeah,
they all were, mate. So Peter Taylor was the coach, right? Peter Taylor was like Frank. He was
Yeah.
the coach. He was the one who did the training ground. He was, and Fergie was the one who went out, got the players, dealt with the CEO or the chairman. There was a lot less hierarchy back then, and dealt with the players. Same with all the Liverpool guys.
Bob
Right?
Paisley.
Liverpool, yeah, they managed the football club. They managed transfers, and then the famous boot room was all the coaches, and there was always a head coach. And when Paisley went, they just got the head coach, just became the manager. They just sort of shifted up.
Yeah, that's
like that.
That's a good point with what I'm going to break now. Me and Tequila were talking a little about it earlier, but I just want to bring this up. I will get your comments. So many people in tonight. Big up to the governor himself. He says, when we went down in 77, it was huge news then. We were the biggest draw in Division 1, and then a big scalp when we were in Division 2, and then a big scalp when we were beaten. We only got back up in goal difference on the last day, so immediate return is not easy. I get your point. I think with extending the playoffs as well, people didn't realize this. The EFL have actually extended the playoffs. Now, I think down to 8th place. So it's from 3rd to 8th now. So there will be a sort of quarter-final sort of game, and then a semi-final, and then the final. And I think that's across the Championship, League 1 and League 2. But I get your point, Philip. It was big, huge news when we went down in 77. And I was alive when we went down. I was only 6 months old, but no, February, March, April, May. I was 3 months old, but I was alive when we went down, but I don't remember much of it. But yeah, big up to you, Philip. Great. And big up to the Irish Red Devils as well. It says, evening, lads. Flip me. What has happened? Joe Cohen, Peter Crouch saying last night they should get Glenn Hoddle or Robbie Keane in to the end of the season to lift the club. Would you agree? Well, it's just going to go on to that, but that sort of leads me onto a statement I got, or something that me and Tequila broke earlier. I'm going to end off on this, guys. Now, our sources have told us that Tottenham Hotspur suggest the club have not pulled the trigger on sacking Eagle tonight, despite the 3-1 defeat last night, despite the 3-1 defeat Crystal Palace growing relegation fears. However, behind the scenes, the situation is described as extremely volatile. We'll get Tequila or Rain to what extremely volatile. What would that mean from behind the board? What happened is internally, Spurs are actively assessing replacement options after 3 defeats in 3 games. The club are considering the next move, but are expected to keep Tudor for at least the next match while they evaluate the situation. The defeat leaves Tottenham just 1 point above relegation zone, intensifying the circus around the club. Names being quietly mentioned, this is why it reads into what you said. There's early talk, if Spurs do quick actually, Robbie Keane could emerge as a short-term option. Now, very quickly, me and Tequila talked on this earlier. Tequila, just before I get to you, bud, we sort of agreed that a Robbie Keane working in a Poch and having our own boot room. Would you be happy with that?
I think if you'd have asked me before the initial change when Frank first was sacked, I wouldn't have said Robbie Keane because I thought there was better options. But considering where we find ourselves, I don't think Robbie Keane would be probably worse than Tudor. He at least knows the club. He at least knows the league. Yes, he's lacking experience. Tudor does have more experience than me in management. But Keano, I think he's got a jubilant personality. I think he would probably bring that feel-good factor, I would imagine, right? Obviously, I don't know. I'm basing this on much more as him as a player. And I think he would be able to galvanise to a decent level, maybe not to Poch's level, but because he was such a... I won't use the term legend, like I say. Okay, that gets thrown around. But because he was such a beloved player for
yes,
us...
he is a legend. He's an Irish legend.
He might be an Irish legend. That's fair enough. But obviously, he was very much adored as
he was,
when he was here with us. So I think that would have been a good choice. But right now, I feel like you have to more stay with Tudor. I think if you were to get rid of him, you don't wait till after Liverpool because that's 10 days away, whatever it is, right?
Yeah,
you do
that's
it now.
the point, isn't it?
You should have done it last night.
Yeah.
If you were going to do it, and you know, it could, because let's be honest, guys. I know it seems crazy to say this, but the Champions League doesn't matter. It doesn't. It really
No, I
doesn't
agree.
matter. Not in this position. Any other season, of course, it would matter. If we were sitting in 12th place and we were safe, then of course we should go all out to win that thing. But that's just not the way it is right now. So I don't. So I don't even. I mean, I care, but I don't really care. I would sacrifice it easily as long as we stay up. That's where I'm at. No, you would actually say relegation. Curious. Would you guys
No,
take
no, no,
relegation?
no. I don't disagree with you that on what the priorities are, but I'm just thinking, that these players don't need a 6-0 drubbing in the Champions League.
See, I don't think they will get job 6-0. I think for whatever reason, just like a little bit like last year, for some reason, these players are up for Europe. All our performances, our best performances of this season, have been all in Europe.
That's actually a very good point.
I'm
The
not saying we're
last
gonna.
18
I don't think we're gonna beat them. But I don't expect a 6-0 job. And I don't expect to win. But I think it would be probably a respectable scoreline. If they do beat us, I reckon it might be a goal or two. But I can't see us getting hammered. They seem to perform in Europe. They do. They have for the last 2 seasons. These players are like that though, aren't they? They'll perform in Europe, but they just don't give a shit about the league because they know there's nothing in it for them. They don't care, but they know there's still a chance for them to win the Champions League. So they'll put in a shift for that. But they won't bother in the league.
Is that a fair point by Philip? No pressure in the champ. It's a free hit.
Yep.
Would you agree with that, guys? I agree with that.
Yep.
Yep. No pressure on them.
Yeah. Sorry, Ryan. Sorry, I just think there's so many in Rhino. This is handy. This is where super chats come in handy. You get ahead of it. I'm trying to find it now. Sorry, Rhino. Where is it now?
Do you want me to have a look?
No, I found it. I started it. Right, very quickly. Just before we get to that, just the rest of what it was saying. What I've been told, the board are promoting right now is avoiding a panic decision. Well, you've already made one. Unless they have a replacement ready, the next fixture, including a tough league game against Liverpool, is now seen as potentially decisive for Tudor's future. So if you were to sort of put it into a quick PowerPoint, board reviewing options, Tudor still in charge, fans pressure building rapidly, key window, next 1 to 2 games could decide everything.
Silly.
Dermot, cue the banana splits, mate. What a shower this club is. Yeah, there we go. Which one's Vivian? Not sure. The shorter one's Vivian, right? Vinay can be the elephant-ish one. Charrington can be the tall one in the middle who's biting his fingernails. Yeah. And is it Charlie? Charlie can be chumming up to his sister over there on the left.
Dermot's not going to be in with this. They're Dermot's mate, so he
can't be. Would you stop? They're not my mates. Stop this bullshit. They're not my mates.
Honestly, they're now considering Tudor. I completely agree with.
Don't try to apply logic because there's no logic you can apply.
Yeah, I completely agree with Tequila. They've shot their load. They've shot their load. If they think they can, if they think they can do it again, they don't know. They don't understand the way that this works. You need to sit back. You need to have a cigarette. You need to let everything calm down a little bit. And it will go again itself, because they've made. Look, there was some confusion about what I was going on about earlier with the 3 at the back. They've made a catastrophic mistake in my mind hiring Igor Tudor. They've made an absolutely And it is rooted in the fact that I don't think any of them understand football.
No.
They don't. Look, we've got plenty of the weekend to talk about it. We will get back to some of this. Big up to Rainer. I do apologise for missing it, Rainer. Tequila, it has been busy, guys, hasn't it, with the chat and everything. So it's not done deliberately. So I do apologise.
No.
Question to everyone: do you think we
I
will win
think
any more
you
games?
did it deliberately, damn it.
I didn't do it. You be
I'm
quiet, you.
joking, mate,
You
I'm
go and
joking.
watch your banana splits. Anyway, you go and shoot your load. We don't want to know what you get up to. Anyway, question to everyone.
Wow.
Do you think we will win any more games this season? Me, honestly, I don't think so. Yes, we are, Ryan. We are going to win games. We are. Which ones? I haven't got a clue, but we are going to win. You'll never find me being absolutely not back in this club. Right, we're going to win the games. We're going to stay in the Premier League, and we're going to have a celebration on Everton Day. We are.
Dermo, quickly to respond to Ryan, I did a little
Yeah.
prediction just privately. I went over everyone's fixtures. I said to myself, I don't think Spurs are going to win a game. Can we still stay up? Yes. In my predictions, we stay up with 34 points via goal difference. So that's with four. That's with four draws. I have us possibly getting 4 draws but no wins, and I worked out that it's possible via goal difference. I think we can start via goal difference on the same points as Forest.
Poor Rain looks a bit confused.
Do we need to redo our predictions, Tequila?
I just did. No, I was just bored. I was just bored earlier on, and I was just like, you know what, I'm going to go through. There was 4 teams. I included Leeds in this. Leeds were at 40 points for me, so they were completely ahead of us. Then I had West Ham on 35 points, Spurs and Forest on 34 points, and I was assuming we might still just about have a better goal difference, but that's not guaranteed, and that's us staying up on goal difference. That's how. That's.
But before the Fulham game, you, me, and Dermot did our predictions.
Yeah.
That's what this is. I'm gonna put it on a slide so that we can keep track of this. And in that, you had us getting up to 38.
Yeah.
So that's been revised. That's been revised down.
After watching the Fulham game and the Palace game, I didn't expect us to do that much at Fulham. But after watching the Palace game, I realised that, you know what, we can't even beat these teams. See, Fulham, I consider a mid-table team. Palace, I thought we were very similar level at. After watching that, I've realised that we're not going to be able to beat Wolves and we're not going to be able to beat Forest. So those 2 things I had as us winning, or at least I was hoping for wins, I downgraded those 2 wins to 2 draws. So that's where I took the 4 points from.
Gotcha.
And now it's 34.
Yeah. So Ryan, to answer your question, because so Tequila's now downgraded. Tequila a week ago, Tequila had us winning 2 games, and now he's got us winning none.
Yep. 4 draws.
Dermot a week ago had us winning 4 games.
Yeah.
We need to go back over this, guys. We need to put this on a slide, and we need to go back over this, right? Including 3 points against Palace, I might add. Right?
Do you think I was a bit optimistic?
Maybe just.
I think you were Dermatron. You're the one who keeps us buoyed up, mate. Don't change.
What did I give for the Palace game, by the way? What was my
3
score
points.
prediction? Did I?
3 points.
Yeah,
I don't remember what the
wrong.
score prediction was. I just took the points. 3 points. It was 3 points. 1 point against Liverpool, I might add. I'm suggesting that you might want to downgrade that. All of us said 3 points against Forest. And Ryan, if we don't beat Forest, then we're down. We absolutely. It's very, very clear to me that we need to win that game.
When is the Forest game?
I downgraded it to draw so that Forest don't gain anything on us. So that's how I was just about able to us to pip Forest via goal difference. We end up on the same points as Forest after I changed that. If they beat us, if they beat us, we're done. If they beat us, we're done. If Leeds beat us, I think we're done as well. If Wolves beat us, I think we're done. If we lose any of those 3 games, I think we're done.
The 22nd of March, 2:15 is the...
Ryan, that's the only game that I had us winning in the run out. I'm still gonna say that we're gonna win it because we just have to. I think we have to actually win it. I think if we don't get some points under our belt, I don't know.
I just don't see us. I just don't see us winning it. I can't see us winning at home against them. I can't. I remember when we played them away, they significantly better than us away. We can't beat anyone at home. I just don't see how we can. I just don't see what's going to change unless it's a freak of luck, like they get somebody sent off other than us for once. They get somebody sent off in the first half, maybe something like that will have to happen because I just don't think we're capable of it ourselves without being incredibly lucky or fortunate to have them do some kind of silly error and silly back pass.
I don't want to agree with you, Tequila. I don't want to.
I don't want to be right.
I just want to ask you guys, look, do we look, we've got Madrid on Tuesday and then we've got Liverpool Sunday. Then we're at home to Madrid on the Wednesday. And then we've got Nottingham Forest, Sunderland, Brighton, Wolves away. Wolves away is not going to be easy, by the way. They've beaten Liverpool. So that's not going to be an easy game. Villa away, which I don't think is easy either. The Leeds game, which I'm going to, I'm going over there with Their Supporters Trust. And then we've got Chelsea. If we need something in the last two games, like away to Chelsea and home to Everton, I do you know what? I think if we need something out of them two games, then I think we're snookered. But look, we're going to end it there, guys. We will be back over the weekend with more discussions and more talk about Tottenham. I've enjoyed tonight. Thank you. Over 1,335 of you watching tonight. Tequila, do you want to say
We're beating
quickly?
Forest. We're beating Forest.
Yeah.
I've decided.
You're going to will it into existence, are you?
Yeah.
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 Rain's going to run onto the pitch and actually bollock Vicario in his ear roll. Yeah, he's going to headbutt. Tequila, do you want to say anything to the people that have been over 1,000 and it's been currently over 1,000 ready for a good hour?
I think that might be a new record there, mate. You'll have to tell me if that is or not. I think it sounds like it. If it's not, it's really close. So yeah,
for a non-match day, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm sure obviously having Billy from James Tottenham probably helped. Obviously, a lot of people obviously came to watch him as well. But if you like what you hear, guys, then please like and subscribe and stick around with us.
Yeah, that is between X and YouTube as well. On YouTube, we've 18, and I'm quite disappointed with the likes. Come on, 52 of you have been currently watching, and only that's it. Come on, keep the likes coming, keep going. We want 30 likes before the end of the intro. I want to say big up to Jerome as well for the super chat. Thank you. Big up to Albie Den for the super chat as well. Big up to Wayne Bonner with the gifted membership as well. Big up also for Wayne Bonner. I want to say big up for the questions from True Blue. Hendu, big up to you, bud. Big up to Niall O'Connor as well. Big up to you, Nine Man. Big up to True Blue as well. And big up to every one of you watching.
And Rhino.
And Rhino as well. Sorry, Rhino. Right. Tequila, where can people? You're going on soon, so where can people find you, bud? Sorry, I overran. I apologize.
No, it's okay. I'm not on till 10. Well, Com is doing a stream as we speak, Resident Evil. So when you're finished here, go over and check out Com's the end of Com's playthrough. That's on the Play Pouch, and I'll be on at 10, I think. And also, please join us on the No Sell Wrestling channel as well, if you just started. So yeah, cheers, guys.
Rain, where can people find you, bud?
Sort of a bit of a.
He's Lassie. He only goes where people.
No, it's the littlest hobo. It's not Lassie.
Yeah, that's sad. Lassie was a bit more exciting. You know, at least with Lassie. What do you want, boy? What's wrong, boy? Wake up.
The littlest hobo. He went around helping people out. You know,
please tell me what
became best friends with people. He was great. It was one of my favourite shows. That was. Don't know what
Flipper. Please.
No, the littlest hobo.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. The point I'm making: how does a dolphin tell somebody they're in danger?
Okay.
Billy Box fell down the well.
I'm more like Michael Knight, going from place to place, helping people out. You'll see me when you see me. You know, and I'll be helping people out. And
sounds like Sam Beckett from Quantum Leap, Rain.
Oh yes, no, I like that one. Yeah, I'll be Sam Beckett from Quantum Leap. That's it. Yeah.
There you go. He's a good name. Just beam him up.
Putting things right that once went wrong. That's what it was.
Yeah, exactly. Like Forest.
Yeah. Do you know what? I would love to get the fella who does Forest TV on. Do you know that fella? I'd somehow love to get hold of him and get him on for a B match. That would be funny. Big up to Norman. It says, sorry, I can't see another win. We're that bad. Look, I agree. With those predictions, says Paul, we're literally clinging on yet.
Yeah.
We're optimistic. Big up to Tom Knight as well. Big up to you, Tom. He says, Chelsea, the relegators. That'll be, if they did that, that would be, talk about Battle of the Bridge. I don't think the bridge would be standing if that happened. And if anyone got a spare ticket for Atletico or Forest, let me know. Sonny, we will let you know, bud. Let you know.
Presume
But
you mean
guys,
home, mate. I presume you mean at home.
Yeah, we are.
Mm.
It is coming. FIFA Clubs is coming. It is in the making. I'm going to get with the guys. Me and James are going to get together. It is coming. FIFA Clubs, THFC to be dying versus the Irish Hotspur. It's the big match this summer. That is where we're going. But guys, listen, thank you all for watching. It's been a great stream. I can't get over the numbers, but thank you so much. We will be back over the weekend with more content. And then all the build up on Monday for Atletico Madrid Champions League. It's back, baby. Yes, something to get excited about. We're going to have that too on that bombshell. Do you want to take us out, Eagle?
No, shall I do an and try if everyone okay? It's just who we are, mate. Coppers.
It's good to have him back.